if you were to ask Arteta, he would be happy with that point.
That's the point I'm making. But that's his point. He is. But that's because he's a conservative in that sense, isn't he?
He's not a good manager.
I'm not saying he's not a good manager. I'm just saying he's very risk averse. He's not going to see an opportunity to say, right, I would rather go for the jugular and try and extend the gap. He's quite happy to consolidate and just take what he's got out of it. And I think he's done that on a number of occasions. And Arsenal fans will kind of criticise and say sometimes that the team are playing with the handbrake on. But I just don't... I can't begrudge Arsenal for if they are to go and win the league this season, because they've been the only team that have been on job.
Yes, people, welcome back. Cutz Inside, episode 19. As always, I'm accompanied by 3 special guests. Firstly, on my next to my right is a man who said he will pick 10 England caps over representing his country. It's the chairman. It's Mr. Boardroom, Jose!
I still stand by that, by the way.
Next, I have a man who will back his manager until the very end or until next week. The most diehard United fan I know. He's also a Scouser. Yes!
That you, yeah?
And lastly, today's special guest, making me the second best presenter in this room. He's done brilliant work with the likes of Liverpool FC, Redmen TV, and plenty of other community projects in this great city of Liverpool. It is Enzo! Enzo, plenty of love. How is life? You've been watching the podcast. What's your thoughts on it?
Bro, I think you're smashing it. I like what you're doing, man. You're just being yourselves. You've just obviously, I know you've got some hot takes. I'm in a couple of group chats with a couple of the mandem anyway, so I know most days we're just going back and forth. Obviously, at the minute in my team, it's a little bit of a divided city. It feels like some people are slot in, some people are slot out. And they've all both sides of the kind of whichever way you're sitting on the fence, they both got valid points as far as I'm concerned. But me personally, I'm good. I've been looking forward to getting in on an opportunity to do this with you guys. Didn't know I was sitting next to a United fan, no, otherwise I'd have probably picked another seat, but it's a minor. And I didn't know there was a live audience as well, so yeah, big up everybody inside. You get me? Big up everyone inside.
Big up. Jose, it's episode 19. Before we go into the football, did you think we'd come this far and seeing like the studio, as Edo said, the live audience? What's your thoughts on the podcast and how it's gone?
Well, when we started, I just thought the lads already talk about football a lot, so we all have fun talking about football. So we thought, why don't we put it on camera and for people to enjoy it? Did I know that we were going to go to 19 episodes? I probably did have a feeling, because I'm one of them people and we're one of them people that if we've got a project, then we're going to see it through to the end, and hopefully it'll become a success. Within the early days, podcasts take years, but I'm just happy to sit here and have a platform that we can all discuss footy.
Top 5%, 10% of podcasts don't get to like the 25th episode, so you're close to being in that, like, you know, esteemed company with some big names, even if it is obviously grassroots. Not everybody can get that far in terms of a journey and a project, so whatever you're building, just keep sticking at it, and as I say, it'll grow. I seem to see people enjoying it, the reactions. I love the games that you've been playing. That's been kind of like, that's not my forte, I'm not gonna lie, but watching it, that's just good content. So yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, boys.
Nice.
Yep.
One,
Yes, just before we go on to the football, obviously when it comes to your takes, I can't lie, they're probably the maddest. You probably get the most comments, more comments than likes.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts? Like, have you seen any of the mad takes on these podcasts, on these episodes, or do you believe what you say?
Yeah, I always believe what I say, you know what I mean? Still stand by Mo Salah's not good at football on the ball. you can see that. You can see that clearly, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's proven right, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's proven right.
You know what I mean? Here I am again.
Here he is
bringing
again.
the truth.
Here he is. Fair
to
enough.
The table.
Right, boys. Let's move into the Prem games. I'm going to start off with the United and Man City game. Okay, Manchester derby. United 2, City 0. Yaz Carrick at the wheel. Is he staying?
I don't think so. I don't think he should stay. We'll make the same mistakes as we did with Ole, and I think he should just do the job, get us into the top 4, and goodbye.
What was you shocked that you would win that game? Was it always going to be like?
No,
it's Man City, you know.
I know that we always do well against like the top sides. It's just the small teams we struggle against, like the likes of Bournemouth and Everton and stuff like that. But when it comes to like these games, when backs are against the wall, they're always willing to show that they are good players and they don't want to get embarrassed live.
Yeah.
This is why they always turn up. So I'm not really fazed by the performance until we face the Fulhams, you know what I mean, and stuff like that.
Errol, let me bring you into it.
Yeah.
You must be so angry at the fact that City have a bad season when Liverpool are not there, chased like at the top of the league. Like, what's your thoughts on like City and like why do they keep dropping points?
It just goes to show that what they're missing at the moment. It's why they've spent the money on Mark Gay, isn't it, really? They've just spent 20 million on another centre-half because they've got a bit of an injury crisis at the back. They went and bought another winger in Semenyo in January. City aren't shy when it comes to bolstering their squad. They'll do it January, they'll do it the summers. But what I think they've missed this year is, obviously, Rodri's been a big miss from them consistently throughout the season and he's only just starting to come back. Will we see the best of him before the end of the season? I really doubt it. But I just don't think they've had enough goals in and around the team. I know Haaland, he's an absolute machine and he's a freak of nature. And I think we all know that now. But outside of that, the other attackers around him haven't really stepped up. And I know Phil Foden had a number of good weeks where he seemed to be on a little bit of a run, but it seemed to be a bit of a purple patch. I just think at this moment in time, I think Pep's ran the course of what he was going to do with that City project. I think he's pretty much running on empty. Obviously, I think the conversations that the City group had been talking to Maresca and all the rest of it, I just think there's a bit of a disbalance there at the moment in terms of their whole infrastructure from the outside looking in. As a Liverpool fan, when it started to tail away from our season, I was almost expecting City to come good at some point and City to just be able to keep Arsenal honest and put you under some level of pressure. But the reality is this City team aren't great. They'll still turn up, they'll still have games in them and they'll still be able to beat the Real Madrids, they'll still be able to beat Liverpool's, the Arsenals, they'll have big games. And it's kind of similar to what you've just said there about Manchester United. But in games where, and I said this the other week, and this might be my hot take, but Pep didn't make this league. Klopp made the league what it was, bro. You've got to understand what I mean when I say that, because when did Pep ever, when he went head to head with Klopp for a title, go 3 games on the spin where he got draws and it was acceptable and he just rolled up his sleeves and went, you know what? Like, he'd be fuming, he'd be doing all the madness, all the antics on the touchline, he'd be getting into it, and that was because Klopp brought the best out of him season on season, whereas he hasn't got that muse at this moment in time to want to keep going. He doesn't have that vim for Mikel Arteta in the same way, and now it's shown. Last season he dropped off, Arne Slot came in and was able to cakewalk the league. This season it almost looks and feels as though unless Arsenal implode off their own steam, they're just going to do it. And again, it's because Pep just doesn't seem to be up for the fight at this moment in time. So he's changed his age. He's been there nearly a decade. You've got to give him credit for what he's done, absolutely. But at the same time, they're just not the same City for me. They're really not.
I just think Pep's not a project builder. Like, he doesn't build teams and stuff like that. He always comes into ready-made teams. And
I don't think City were a ready-made team when they came.
But like, he still had Silva, Aguero and stuff like that, like, into the side, you know what I mean? And like, you can see now with the signings, Marmoush's not worked out, Savinho's not worked out and stuff like that. And he's not that type of manager. He needs to come into like the likes of Bayern Munich, and Barca was already made and City was already winning titles before he's come with like top players and stuff like that. And you can see like where the spending that he's doing in January and stuff like that is like a bit rash, isn't it?
No, well, Yozzy, you called it. And you called it a long time ago.
I called him a dinosaur.
You called him a dinosaur.
I called him a dinosaur.
Okay.
And I don't know what I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong about this, but
this season in particular,
I called him a dinosaur.
100.
But looking back, just to touch on what you said, when Jurgen Klopp and I was speaking to somebody about this yesterday, Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola, them two teams that were going for them titles are probably the top 5 best teams in Premier League history. Like the last 30, 40 years, if you put on the best teams, Jurgen Klopp's 2020 team, Pep Guardiola's Centurions, the Invincibles, United's 99 team, like That's what it is.
Chelsea's one with
Chelsea's in 2005. So that's the level. That was the level that them two teams were operating in. Are we just going back to normality now? The last couple of seasons, I
think the league. I don't know if I
are we saying the league is poor, or was the league from 2018 to 2023 was the league just really, really, really like? If you look at the Champions League, like Liverpool won the Champions League, Chelsea won the Champions League, City won the Champions League in them kind of period. English teams were going really, really far. That's when we had the best managers in the league. We had Klopp, we had Tuchel, we had Pep, we had Poch, we had Mourinho, when he was at United and stuff. Has English football just dropped that level? And is it unfair that we're comparing the league now to what it was back then? And if you do that, then I think everything becomes a bit more easier to understand. And like you said, the City team was not as good as the City teams that he had. And the Liverpool team was not as good as the Liverpool team that we had. But that Liverpool team last season was still enough to win the league.
Yeah, but I just think I've said it, you know, I've speak to a lot of Arsenal fans as well in and outside the city, and the conversations I've had with them for a number of years has been, I will always back City to go on that 10-game stretch where they will just put W's on the board. Like this last season and this season.
How long can we hold on to that for?
Well, this is what I mean. I'm having to let go of it, bro. Like I'm genuinely having to relinquish that kind of thought process because they're not proven capable at this moment in time. And that's what I've always kind of backed City to be able to do. Like, look, at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, they will turn up for 10 games and they will stick it on your team. And that's when Arsenal have crumbled, that's when we've crumbled, because they had that mentality. And again, it's not to say that they've changed too much because, you know, they had an aging squad and they had to. They've got a freak of an attacker there. But I don't necessarily think their style of play suits him in terms of they've still got these inside forwards that aren't really putting up numbers and they're not really providing the assist or service to him at the same time. And, you know, they're still trying to get a 10 to feed it through to him. So there's still a lot where you think City could be good, but in terms of that sustained period where they're just going to go on an insane run, I just don't think they've got it. They haven't got that dog in them anymore.
Coming back to the game, so go on.
I was going to say to you guys, why are we not giving United credit for absolutely? I thought United was a better side yesterday. Played them off the park. Kobe Mainoo.
Yeah.
Getting back into the side.
Kobe.
Finally, we got rid of that Obrigado, Ruben Amorim, and we need to get rid of that.
Obrigado.
We need to get rid of that Dallo as well. But,
How's he getting away with it?
Yeah.
How do you get away with it? Is that a red?
Is that a red?
Dallo's
Probably,
challenge.
yeah. I think it's a red.
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It should have been a red, but plenty of decisions we never got our way this season. So if it comes to that, I'll take it. But yeah, Carrick set them up in a way where it was like compact, mid-block, low block, if you want to call it, but like nullified City, and like the narrow midfield four literally stopped like the spaces in between the midfield and the defence from like they can play through, because they like them half spaces, don't they, like Bernardo Silva and stuff like that and Foden, and we just stopped them. I think they had like their second lowest XG and like their lowest shots this season.
Is that more about United or more about City though?
More about, like, he didn't know, because even like before the game, Pep goes and says, I don't know how they're going to set up here, because he hasn't got footage of them. So that shows if you're a top manager, you should be able to identify and like know everything.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
How can you know if that's his
because
first
he set up exactly the same how he set up Middlesbrough, like in that 4-2-3-1 and narrow and stuff like that, and like controlling the midfield and like a bit more emphasis on the control. Whereas Pep was like, I don't know, we have to wait till like 5 minutes until we know how they're going to play and stuff like that. And he just couldn't deal with it for the rest of the game. I felt like Amad Diallo was running the...
Nico O'Reilly. Is that his name? O'Reilly? Did I make that up?
Nico O'Reilly, yeah. Who's... do you know who stood out for me? Mbeumo.
Came back from Africa.
I want to ask you a question. Would you swap Mbeumo for any other Premier League winger?
He's also not good on the ball. Like he's like a Mo Salah for me. You know what I mean? He's like I don't really rate him as much. You know what I mean? He's going to get a goal.
Have you got something against Africans?
No. I rate Diallo. I think he's the best right winger in the Prem. You know what I mean? He's better than Saka. He's better than Saka, 100%. 1-on-1 on the ball, you'll absolutely demolish any fullback.
Is it too late for me to swap seats?
No. Just watch him.
Do you
Just watch him how he
do
plays.
you think
Unbelievable.
Diallo is better than any Premier League winger?
Last season he got more goals than Saka.
I need you to answer the question. Is Diallo
And they had the same amount of
I need
games.
you to answer the question though. Is Diallo better than any Premier League winger?
Yeah, he is.
Fair enough.
You know what I
Better
mean?
than Semenyo this season.
That's crazy.
Better than Semenyo. I thought Semenyo, he hasn't scored in like 10 games before the last goal that he scored for Bournemouth.
He scored against bloody Tottenham. Didn't he?
Yeah, that was the last goal. He hasn't scored in between 10 games. He hasn't scored nothing.
He went on a mad run, didn't he, with no
Yeah.
goals? But,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm telling you, Diallo
He
on
wouldn't-
the ball is
What?
technically unbelievable. The
Oh.
way he shifts the ball and stuff like that. He's going on about Doku. He has got no end product, at least Diallo has.
Well, boys, let's move on. Thank you, United. Thank you very much, okay? Because they helped my team out after we got a fantastic point
Hopefully you win the league.
away against Nottingham.
Hopefully.
Thank you, Emmys. Okay.
He said fantastic points.
A fantastic point.
Why is that point
against
fantastic?
Nottingham Forest away?
and where are they in the league?
Under pressure. You know what I mean? Under pressure. I think playing under pressure is very, very hard. When you have to go and win a game, when the back's against the wall, like we didn't lose, and we extended our lead at the top. Okay.
You just can't score without set pieces. That's what it
Nottingham
is.
Forest
though.
0, Arsenal 0. Okay, it was a tough game. Yoza, give me your thoughts on the game. Do Arsenal look like Premier League champions to you?
I think you're default champions because the league is very, very poor. If you were really serious about showing your credentials as title winners, I'm not saying that you won't win the title, you probably will because City are crap, Liverpool are crap and everybody else is crap. The fact is that you might stutter over the line. You're not going to do it convincingly how Liverpool have done it before or how City have done it
Last
before.
season you wasn't thingy though.
What?
Last season the league was poor and you won it.
Thank you!
That's what I'm saying. What?
Last season the league was poor.
I'm saying that's an argument. Yeah, the
Yeah,
league was poor. So is it the league
And you
poor
won
this
it in April
Is
or
the
something
league
like that?
poor this season as well then?
Yeah.
So that's the point.
Is
I'm
the
making.
league poor or are the lower level teams just higher in quality? AKA Nottingham Forest with Elliot Anderson who started for England and he's playing for Nottingham Forest. So
The point I'm making is, yeah, if a team is serious about winning the league title, yeah, like Liverpool did, we went to City home and away and we got 6 points. That's a serious team. Yous don't do that. When the time is for you to, when City drop points and the onus is on you to make that lead go to 9 points, 12 points, 15 points. You just can't do it. And Liverpool, you can say whatever about the league, but when there was weekends when teams drop points, we capitalised. I went to a Newcastle game last season. We beat them 2-0 at home and you drew at Nottingham Forest 0-0 again. So I'm saying when the pressure happens, a team that really wants to win the league doesn't crumble to the pressure and doesn't feel the pressure like you're explaining. They go out there and win and make it 12, make it 15 points. The difference between 7 points and 9 points, you might think it's just 2 points. It's massive. 9 points is an open shut case league done. 7 points, you've left the door open. Mm-hmm. And you've still got to go to Man City. You've still got to go to Man City and win.
do we have to win?
Well, I think it's up to you, but I would want my team to go there and show credentials. Like my team went over there, we won 2-0 and we showed the champions then. We're the new champions, we're champions elect. The champions came to North London the other week. And what did you do? You couldn't beat us.
Park the bus.
What?
They parked the bus.
And that comes back to my point, yeah. With Mikel Arteta, you're happy with the point because you're Mikel Arteta's bloody fanboy and biggest fan. He makes like for like substitutions. He did not want to go and win that game yesterday. Yeah. You can't sit and tell me when he swaps the winger and he swaps the striker and he keeps the shape. Why didn't you go to 3 at the back and put 5 up front if you wanted to win the game?
I totally understand it. I think I generally couldn't like explain
And
it.
that's what's
But
the last point I'm gonna make, that's what's gonna, if you don't win the league, that's what's gonna cost you. It's Mikel Arteta. It's that cautiousness.
I think, yeah, if you were to ask Arteta, he would be happy with that point.
That's the point I'm making.
But that's his point.
That's
He
the point.
is. But that's because he's a conservative in that sense, isn't he?
He's not a good manager.
I'm not saying he's not a good manager. I'm just saying he's very risk averse. He's not going to see an opportunity to say, right, I would rather go for the jugular and try and extend the gap. He's quite happy to consolidate and just take what he's got out of it. And I think he's done that on a number of occasions. And Arsenal fans will kind of criticise and say sometimes that the team are playing with the handbrake on. But I just don't. I can't begrudge Arsenal for if they are to go and win the league this season because they've been the only team that have been on job. And I think, you know, you can call it consistency, but they've been the only team that have been on job and just went about their business professionally, while everybody else have failed to stand up to the test. Look at Manchester United, no disrespect to your team, but you're playing one game a week. You should be playing. Glad they're going to play around 40 games.
Shocking. I play more games in a week.
But it's true, and like, you know, they should be further up the table just by default, because everybody else is so busy and so active. You've got teams like Newcastle that are just yo-yoing up and down. Eddie Howe can't get a result on the road. It's like there's so many teams within this league where you can just pick holes in the way that they're playing. In Arsenal at this moment in time, we can criticise the fact that, you know, they spent 70 million on a striker that you can't buy a goal for. But the reality is, they spread the goals throughout the team, and the team are getting the majority of the results. The one thing I will say though is, it'd be interesting if there was another team that could step up this season, simply because your draws are starting to creep up now. I think he's on 5 draws for the season. You know, he's only lost 2. But as soon as you start getting to 6s and 7s and 8 draws, I'm looking at you thinking, you don't deserve to win a title.
Yeah.
If you've drawn that many games, you don't deserve to win a title. I always remember, I go back to, I think it was 08-09 for Liverpool. We had a brilliant side. And I think we only lost 2 games all season.
Lost 2 games.
And I was young at them times as well. I was still... 08-09, yeah, all right, I might have just left school, but in my head I was like...
Sure you win 25?
No, definitely win 25.
Oh, you're trying to put them all over
Hey, no.
I'm trying to 16.
No, but I was young enough. But in my head I'm thinking, I'm trying to do the math still, thinking, how have we not won a league and we've only lost 2 games? I've watched pretty much every single game and we've only lost 2 all season. And that for me was like a proper... you know, one of those moments, watershed moments, where I'm like, it's the draws that kill your ambitions in the title. And I think, you know, there's nobody really that are going to pose a threat to Arsenal this season. You should be beating Nottingham Forest, especially given the fact that obviously City had dropped points, Liverpool weren't capitalising on any to make up any ground. You wanted to extend it on Villa, but at the end of the day, nobody's going to catch you this season. But if there was anything that's going to be a weakness to you, it's the amount of draws that you'll rack up between now and the end of the season.
Can we all admit that Aina's handball
was not a handball.
Was not a handball? Oh. Is that not a handball? That's playing basketball.
It's a natural position.
He's got that. He's done that with his hand.
What it is, regardless if it's a handball or not, yeah, I'm just happy that VAR never just interfered with that. I'm done with VAR. If they give that a penalty, like Sean Dyche said, you may as well cancel football. You said that on TNT. You may as well cancel football, because let the referee seen it. He said it's not a penalty. I don't think it's like a glaringly, whether you think it's a penalty, whether you don't think it's a penalty, I don't think it's one of them which is like, oh, that's a massive mistake. Get to the VAR and give them the penalty. Nah, not really. I'm not saying it wasn't a penalty, but I'm just saying it wasn't enough of VAR to intervene.
Yeah,
it can go either way, man.
I agree. I can't use that as an excuse, to be fair. I want to move on to Declan Rice. Do you think it's getting to his head? Like, all this like reputation starting to get... Do you see what he said? You see what he said against our assistant manager last week? And then on camera he said...
fucking shit every single time, man.
And he knows the camera's on him, but is that like it getting to his head now, like this reputation, like I'm that guy? I'm like... Is he that guy?
I mean, you're the type of... You're the guy who said he's better than Pogba and stuff like that, so... people like you are the reason why he's getting into his head.
Yeah, at the end of say, yo, listen, you're better than Pogba, right?
No, but is that a thing that Arteta, like, is that saying to the manager like every single time? What does that mean? Why has he said that? I'm asking you, what do you think it means?
I don't know why he's saying it. I feel like he's saying it because he knows the camera's like on him.
He knows.
That was shit.
No, not that he's a shit, but he knows.
The manager took the points.
Yeah, every single time there's an opportunity for Arsenal to show the credentials, extend the lead, make up the ground, or when somebody else drops points, whatever the dynamic is, where Arsenal need to be clutch, every single time they shit the bed. And that's just the reality. Over the last couple of seasons, in those big moments, and one of the things about Declan Rice for me, I always said it, the price tag, you don't talk about the price tag with him because he's been and he showed enough quality. But the reality is he was supposed to be a transformative player. When Liverpool bought their transformative players, that hit different early. Verge, Alisson hit different early. We went on to win the Champions League and the Premier League within the next 18 months of having them. This is nearly 3 years deep. With Rice being this transformative player.
27 now.
My thing, and again, I know that people don't like when I say it, but if he doesn't win, if he doesn't have silverware at the end of the season, he's a poor man's Jordan Henderson. Sorry.
Bomba,
I'm sorry.
Jalmo, carry in the
But
back.
no, do you know what, you mentioned clutch. You mentioned the word clutch. If I had to think back in the last couple of years when it comes to Premier League clutch players, Eze comes to mind. Where's Eze?
Where is Eze?
Where is Eze?
Free Eze? He said free menu. Free Eze, bro.
He's on a milk bottle.
Bro,
man.
why going for him?
I told you.
Because Odegaard's there and he's favoured by the
I think
manager.
his favourite Odegaard.
get him then?
Why can't he play on the left?
Why hold players like that? What are you doing, you Chelsea?
He's done it with like all the positions, just like built.
What
like,
was
just
wrong with
crazy.
Saka? Sorry, we keep jumping. Well, Saka never played. Why? Just give him a
I think
rest.
I think he thinks Madueke's of enough quality to go and beat Nottingham.
He's not a bad player.
No,
So he started with Martinelli, even though he's been brilliant coming off the bench.
Yeah, he's done that a few times though. He's changed his two wingers, like Saka and Trossard, like his main two, and then he changed it for Madueke and Martinelli. But no, I don't know what's happened to Eze, to be fair. I think just doesn't. Arteta's one of them. If he don't like you, he don't like you. Ramsdale come on all or nothing, come in one time because he let a goal in and said fucking shit or whatever, and that's it. You never seen him again when I got David Raya. Do you know what I mean? Arteta's very, very stubborn. If you don't like a player, that's it. You are like absolutely.
And this is what I worry for about Gyökeres from being.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think he's done. When Kai Havertz, see the way he's talking about Kai Havertz.
That's what I'm saying. When Kai Havertz comes back to full fitness, I can see Gyökeres holding bench for a minute.
I think couldn't you say like? Do you think Arteta wanted Gyökeres? Or was that a
No.
signing?
I think he wanted Sesko, to be honest.
Berta wanted Gyökeres, and it was Arteta that wanted
But
Sesko.
to be honest, when I look at Sesko, I'm quite happy that we didn't get him.
He's better than Gyökeres.
I think they're both right.
No, not really.
I think they're both.
Which pile of shit's bigger? The whole pile of shit. What? You're stepping both of them, you fuck?
Let's talk about weights.
We will wrap it up with David Arsenal. We will bring it on to Liverpool. Liverpool versus Burnley. Hughes struggled.
Bro.
Points 1-1. Verts though, he's on form. He's on form, and he's a winning games 1-1 and 0-0.
Horrible, man. You're a horrible man.
Talk to your mates.
Nah, I said it on the Twitter the other day. And I said, yo, we got more draws than Sully and Duchesne right now. You know, like that. It's peak, bro. It is. But you know, it's mad because all jokes aside, I look at the new lads that have come in this season, and for the first time in a while, you probably look at them yesterday and think, actually, Kirk has had a really good game. Frimpong again's probably had the best month in a Liverpool shirt. Florian Wirtz again steps up and starts to perform for us. And Hugo Ekitike, we don't score that goal if Hugo doesn't bring it down and obviously just outwork their defence in order to try and create something out of nothing. So there's four lads there that have been brought in terms of their individual performances. You look at it and think, actually, yeah, you probably played all right. It's just the collective, it's the unit of what we're doing at this moment in time. And the thing that disappoints me the most about us is, and you might disagree on this, but for me, no matter how much possession we have and how much control we have, 5 minutes is all it takes for us to just show that we've got a soft underbelly. We'll switch off and a team can cut us open. And a team doesn't have to be... That team could have been Barnsley the other day in the FA Cup. Like, we've seen it with lower league teams where they just put that little bit of extra concentration in. And we just don't have anybody that can sense that little bit of... Or have that defensive nous to think, you know what? Let's just shut up shop for 5 minutes. Yeah, we can see that they're getting a little bit of confidence. They're going into the game. They've got the ball a little bit more. Let's just soak up the pressure for 5. Let them tire themselves out. And then we'll come back good. Like, we don't seem to have that kind of, that street smart where we used to have like someone like James Milner again, even a Jordan Henderson, somebody, a Fabinho that just like, nah, I'm screening in the back 4. Nothing's getting through this midfield. And once we get on the ball again, that's when we go. If we would have just seen that 5 minute period out where we had a few brain farts and it all seemed to just go left, I think we get over that 5 minute hump and then the next minute we go and find another goal. We win 2-0 and it's comfortable. But the fact is, as soon as that moment happens, all of the players just have that like so much unnerving doubt that they've got settling into the whole team that none of them know what do we do next. And then they're all looking at the managers if they say, well, Gaffer, come on in, save us. What do we have to do? What's the solution? And there you go.
He's got nothing. What I'm going to say is about Liverpool, yeah, there was boos rang out at Anfield, and I've been a Liverpool fan all my life, and I don't think I've ever heard boos at Anfield. We've been Roy Hodgson times. We've had Alberto Aquilani and Paul Konchesky. We had some dark days. The club nearly went into liquidation. I don't think, Joe, what's in Hicks and Gillette? I don't think I heard boos. Oh, I can't remember boos. We're not one of them clubs that boo. So it tells you, and people think, oh, what? The question is, if the team has had so many low points, or the club's had low points, why the boos now? Why not the boos then? It's because expectation, and then you have reality. When we have a team that won the league last season and broke the British record twice, not once, twice, for us to be putting in results like this, for us to not get whatever you think about the Arsenal, and I troll you taking the mick out of Arsenal, but we never had a shot on target against you. The last win that we had in the league was against Wolves, and we just about won. We had 4 draws in a row. The good thing about it is we're not losing anymore. Boys, this is bad. This is bad.
No, Joe, I hear
the draws feel like losses though. That's what I did a video straight afterwards, and I'm just I'm like, we just lost, and I had to remind myself we didn't lose, but it felt like a loss. That felt like there is no excuse to be drawing games at home to Burnley when Burnley have like 2 shots on target in the whole match. And I'm not really going to place the blame at Alisson's doorstep, because there's been plenty of times where Alisson has come up, and in those moments where he could be literally on a deck chair for 90 odd minutes, 85 minutes, and he has to step up, and he's done his job. He's been on job for us down the years, transformative player. He's been brilliant. We can't expect him to save us every single time. So I don't blame him.
I blame the manager.
Well, again, that's fine. I'm disappointed in the manager, because all of the things that I praised you for last season, it feels as though this season it's just like you've literally forgotten all your principles. I remember we'd get like, even the first game of last season was at Ipswich away.
Jota scored.
Yeah, well, obviously, like, he takes Kwanzaa off at half time, hooks him, throws Kanate on. Thought that was, a little bit of a masterstroke. Whatever he's tinkered with and said, right, this is what we're going to do. We go out and we get the goal, we break the down on him. And that seemed to be a trend throughout the course of the season. It'd be first half where he'd just look and he'd assess the game, he'd read it and think, okay, yeah, this is going on. Second half, we'll move this person here, we'll do this, we'll change the formation. It'd be the in-game management. It wouldn't necessarily always have to be substitutions that he'd bring in. This season, he's got no ideas. So I'm disappointed in him, because I feel like he's abandoned some of those principles. But where I am fuming as a Liverpool fan this season is the higher ups in the hierarchy, and that's where I'm more angry as a fan, because you can say, yeah, we broke the transfer record and we did this, but I still think we was negligent. And again, we'll never know now, because the ship sailed. Mark Gay's gone to City, but if there was a world where Slot said, in my plans this season, I want to move to a back 3, I'm going to have the wing-backs in Kerkers and Frimpong, and Mark Gay's going to be there. We're going to get Leone in as well as a little bit of a backup, and that'll be the 3, Verge, Kanate and Gay in some way. He's the linchpin to your system. You've got to go and buy him. Yeah. You can't wait and get him in at the 11th hour. He's going to make that system work. Mm-hmm. You've got to go out and buy him. So the fact that we didn't, it's negligence. And if we've moved past that now and we thought we're not going to go back to that now because too much, there's too much water under the bridge, well, we just let him go to City for 20 odd mil. Like, it's at board level this season, it just feels negligent. It just feels like the players that we let go, I wouldn't have let all of them go. The players that we brought in, I'm glad that we brought the quality of players that we did, but it just feels like they've had a long time to get it right. I'm considering it's gone this horribly wrong. They've got to hold smoke for that, and I think fans need to realise that, like, as much as you want to give the manager stick, like, we didn't buy no one the season before, and we asked them to work on not even a shoestring budget. You've got a Crockett Chiesa, and you just bring him in here. Like, you're not even going to give him minutes, but that's all you're going to have to work with. Yeah. Nah, like, they've had a long time to try and at least get this next phase right. They failed, and that's where I
think that's unfair. I think the Brook stops with him. He's the one. The Brook stops with him, bro. They went and got Florian Wirtz, they went and got Keke, they went and got these top level, these were the most sought after players in Europe. They've done their job by signing the players. Maybe they could have they let go a few more that he shouldn't have. But Slot's got himself to blame. Did he make Luis Diaz look like, or feel like he's wanted? Did he pick Cody Gakpo more than him and make Lucho think that he wants to go elsewhere and be the main man? he has a lot to answer for. And in regards to the way the team sets up, the way you talked about Fabinho and sitting in, I agree. But he's moved past that. He doesn't want a defensive midfielder he's moved past that. He doesn't want one. He said Ryan Gravenberch is good enough. When Ryan Gravenberch is brilliant on the ball, but he doesn't have the defensive nous to go and screen. And the way the back four sets up, the right back is very wide when we're defending. And all they need to do, what Scotty Parker done, is put a winger on Frimpong. And then there's got, Konaté's got this big gap and they played the passing. How many times have we seen Konaté get him on his side, always getting isolated? But that comes from the way the manager is setting them up. I think, is the position become untenable? No, it hasn't become untenable, because as a football club, we're not going to be like Tottenham fans who are booing Thomas Frank on, and maybe we can come on to that. But at the end of the day, yeah, the players are not 5th or 6th position. These players are not at the level of drawing 4 games in a row.
We have not beaten a newly promoted side at Anfield this season. We're supposed to be champions.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, nah.
So that's what I'm saying.
That can't run. As far as I'm concerned, that just
I'm
can't
saying
run. That's not good enough.
Thank you for everything. I appreciate what you've done. You're gonna go. You're on the cop. You're on the cop with Shanks, Paisley, Rafa, Klopp. Yeah,
your debut album went to number 1.
Yeah,
your debut album went to number 1. You went
one
clear.
hit wonder. One hit wonder.
Man,
See you
you went
later.
clear from one album.
One hit wonder, man. JLS, you're the man. You don't know. Tiny temper and that. One good year. Clean run. See you later.
Like Dutch managers though, always.
Oh, somebody said Hagen to me. No.
Dutch managers second season.
Before we wrap up,
Ronald
It's a case,
Koeman.
It's a case.
Van Gaal, yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
case.
do you know, before we wrap up, I know we've run a bit over time. As a man with plenty experience of managers come and going, yeah. When you watch Liverpool, are there players fighting for slots or not? Because like you said, you get a lot of, not losing, you're getting a lot of draws. Do you know what I mean? So you are the players trying or they're not trying? Do they want? I seen a meme on Twitter. It was when Szoboszlai took the penalty and it was that Gerrard meme. Gerrard looks like Are Liverpool players fighting for? You've seen it before with United. Are Liverpool players fighting for their manager or not?
It's just that they overbought in the summer, I think, and like they tried to be like a Galactico when Liverpool's never been that.
I hear it.
And that I think disrupted a couple of players in there, but I think they're going to let him go in the end of the summer, just because right now he's in the top 4, isn't he? And until that fades away, they won't sack him. And at the end of the in the summer, after the World Cup, loads of managers going to be available. So Alonso's available now. But if it gets even worse, then they will move him on and get another manager in. But I think they're waiting for the summer where they will make a change. Loads of managers will be available then, innit? Like Ancelotti and stuff like that.
What can I just say?
Okay.
Can I just say one thing? Yeah, last thing. Yeah, he went on TalkSport. Yeah, and he said to the reporter, the journalist, he said to him, "We had 32 shots. They had 4. In other sports, we would have won today. However, this is football and not other sports, and this is why I love the game." What are you talking about? What's he talking about?
Speaking like Fabregas.
No, what's he talking about? He's there going every single week and gaslighting us every single week. Like, we can't see what's just happened. Bro, give us answers. I would rather him say, Errol, it's not been good enough. We never had the quality. We should do a lot more. We should have defended well. We should have. But he's there gaslighting us every single week.
And this is what I don't like. I know, because we'll go.
Yeah, okay. Let me wrap it up.
Go on, you wrap it up.
Do me a favour. What position do Liverpool need to finish for Slot to stay?
First.
Facts.
What position do Liverpool need to finish for Slot to stay?
I don't even necessarily think it's going to be the league position. I don't think the league position is going to matter. I think it's going to be one of the cups.
So, winner.
If he was to win the Champions League or the FA Cup, I think they're in a very difficult position to try and get rid of him unless he was to do some mutual consent thing.
And United are 1 point behind Liverpool. Who finishes higher, United or Liverpool?
I can't trust my team for anything. You know what I mean?
I rate his honesty.
Fair enough. No, you staying on the fence?
No, he said he can't trust. He said Liverpool.
Can't trust my team. So it's probably they have better players, innit?
Boys, let's move on. Aston Villa 0, Everton 1. Aston Villa failed to cut the lead. the points,
The
to
gap,
Arsenal,
yeah.
the gap to Arsenal. Yeah. Is Unai Emery a good manager?
Yeah, Unai would be my choice of manager as well. I'll be honest.
For Liverpool?
Yeah, if the situation came about, I would go for Unai. But no, I was expecting more, especially at home. He got a brilliant record at home, but for whatever reason, Everton seemed to turn up today. Obviously, Jack Grealish just seemed to have the bit between his teeth. Barry's goal and his finish was just ridiculous. I think Martinez should probably do a little bit better. He didn't, and then yet he was able to hold on. Rodgers knocking on the door a couple of times, couple of opportunities, but it just didn't look like Villa were ever really going to capitalise. And as I say, again, it comes down to that pressure, being in a title race, being in the thick of it. Can you step up to the challenge? Can you show your credentials? And I think that's the second time now where Villa had an opportunity to really put some pressure on Arsenal, and both times they've kind of buckled under it. So little bit, they'll be disappointed. I'm disappointed. Obviously, I need a challenger for this league, but outside looking in. But again, Everton on the road getting a result at Villa Park is no easy feat. So you've kind of got to give them credit, and obviously the finish was brilliant.
No, fair enough. Is David Moyes just like a match made in heaven for
Everton.
Oh my God, I'm losing my words there, aren't I?
He's like Mr. Solid, innit? I don't know what you think about Man United, but people say like, no, there is some fans that say that we maybe should have stuck with David Moyes longer than what he did. Quick answer, is that yes or no? Maybe.
No.
Okay. So forget that.
He finished 7th.
But he's like Mr. Solid, West Ham.
Yeah,
He grew them
yeah,
with
Mr.
Everton,
Solid.
he got them top 4, top 5, top 6 every single year. West Ham, they were top 7. They were in the Europa League, won the Conference League. And that's why Everton have brought him in to take them to that next level. And he has made them a lot better. If you look at where they are in the league, and they've got so many injuries, and he's getting he's getting everything out of that team. And he has got some quality players. And if you think about it, 2 of his best starting 11 are in the AFCON with Skilliman and Jai. That's what you call him, Jack. Skilliman and Jai. and Gay. But yeah, David Moyes is a very, very good Premier League manager. And I think this is his level. Yeah. I've heard a couple of murmurs from Everton fans in the city that say, for us to get to that next level, that maybe we need a different manager. But if I was...
They're not about that life.
Yeah, just chill, Everton. Yeah. Just consolidate yourselves in your new stadium and just enjoy these kind of weeks.
You say that, but Everton are 4 points behind Liverpool. Are they in with the shout for Europe? No. And Liverpool on top? No, okay, never mind.
No, come on.
Not in with the shout at all?
This is a serious podcast.
not like Europa.
No, if that was... They haven't won it since... Sorry, Jack.
Jack, come on.
Since 1995, they haven't won a trophy, yeah. Since 1995, they haven't won a trophy. It's a song. But what I'm saying to you is that David Moyes, finish as high as possible, try and win something in it. Win the FA Cup, go deep in the cup competition, and he'll be cemented as the best manager they've had in the Premier League era if he wins a trophy. It's the same way with Oliver Glasner. I know Everton are a bigger club than Crystal Palace, and you won league titles and stuff in the 80s and stuff like that, but Oliver Glasner won the FA Cup and he is cemented there as whatever. I think David Moyes, for what he's done in his first tenure, getting him to Europe in the Champions League, even though he's lost in the qualifiers with Real, getting them to an FA Cup final, if he gets them over the line with a trophy, then he'd be up.
I don't think the team that they have can win a trophy though. They need a right back, they need a left back, stuff like that. Whereas Palace had Eze, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Instead of Tierney O'Bani, they should have bought Mateta, Everton, for example.
Why would they leave Palace to go to
it's a bigger club, isn't it?
It is a bigger club, but it's the same thing with United. Who would want to come to United now? You're a massive club and that, but what player would want to go?
The name still rings bells.
Semenyo said no to you and said yes to Man City though, and that was last week.
They just didn't want to pay that much though, what they did. Come on,
bro. Semenyo, you paid Eddie, and Semenyo said,
do you not know about that Jim the Rat
I'm
and
not
the
going
penny
to that
pinching?
cemetery, that Smith Down Socky cemetery. That's an Old Trafford, bro.
Everyone would want to come. You know what I mean? Everyone would want to come to Man United, bro. Whether it's for the money or the status of the club.
Cunha would want to go, yeah. And Burma would want to go. Semenyo, when you got Man City there, I'm not going.
They had Champions League offers.
You can take players off Newcastle and Tottenham, but you can't take players off Man City or Liverpool.
We took players off Real Madrid, Euro.
Fair enough.
But Euro did it. If Real Madrid really wanted Euro, they'd go. You pay 40 million and Real Madrid offer 15. But context, innit?
Yeah. Let me wrap it up on Villa and Everton. Where do Villa finish the season?
I think they probably finished third, to be honest with you. It's either going to be third or fourth. I can't see them doing I can't see them being title contenders, if I'm being completely honest with you. Pickford did pull off an unbelievable save as well from Rodgers at one point.
I want to pull something up with you, Errol.
Go on.
You were blaming the owners before when it comes to Liverpool, yeah?
Yeah.
Or half, like...
Yeah.
We should...
They're culpable. Yeah, they need a
share
share.
You just told me you'd want Unai Emery at Liverpool.
I would.
So, are you telling me if Unai Emery was available, you'd get rid of Slot for...
I would, yeah. I'd have Emery as our manager, next manager. 100%.
Would you, Jose?
He's basically saying Emery's a better manager than Slot.
I think he is. I think he's proven to be a better manager.
In what sense?
I don't know.
I think he's got... Well, one of the things that I levelled at Slot last season was the way that we went out to the Champions League. I wanted to see this season... I thought we'd have a good domestic campaign just because of the players that we brought in. I thought it'd all work. And I genuinely thought I will judge Slot this season on his European credentials and how he navigates the European competition. I don't think we're going to be able to give him a real fair crack of the whip now because of the way that the actual domestic season's gone. But Unai Emery's proven that he's able to navigate European competitions. He knows, he gets it, he understands it. I think that's important to a club like Liverpool. And I also think now he understands what it actually takes and requires to be able to manage a big club as well in the Premier League.
Not our Premier League teams, though.
What do you mean?
He didn't do it at Arsenal.
He got you to a final. He got you to a final.
How many finals have you been in?
How many other finals have you been to, though, bro?
He's won 3 back-to-back Europa Leagues, bro.
Yeah, bro. Put some respect on his name.
Yeah, Aston Villa in the Champions League.
Yeah. He did it with Villarreal. Didn't he beat you in a final?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
come on, bro.
Spanish
Man United, get out. Get out, Manchester United. Get out.
To be fair, we had a coach. We had a coach, yeah. That's like you in Ole. Similar.
Ollie? Why are we Ollie similar?
Similar, isn't it? Shocking.
Yes, man. Yes, man. That is, yeah. Right, let's move on.
Let's take that as a criticism.
Man, I finished second and third, though. You know what I mean?
You'd say never won a league under me. Think about it every night.
Let's move on to Spurs against West Ham. Losing 2-1, last minute winner.
Nuno. Liam Rosenior as well. Only 2 black managers in the league, man.
Oh, yeah, first.
So I'm always going to support Nuno Espirito Santo, man.
Last minute winner for West Ham.
Callum Wilson. You know his contract?
Yeah.
Talk about his contract.
Talk to me.
He's on a pay-per-play.
Yeah.
He gets 100 grand every time he touches that grass.
Is that better?
I think it's better because
Someone like him, he's injury prone.
Yeah.
Well, West Ham really needed that win. I'm so happy for West Ham because that's a big club. I don't want to see West Ham in the Championship, know what I mean? I like West Ham. Ions. But yeah, I want West Ham to stay up. But also, I want Leeds to stay up. And I want Forest to stay up. I'm thinking, not everyone can stay up.
Nah. Forest and Leeds can go, yeah. Forest and
Leeds can go. It's not many Northern.
I don't even mind West Ham going, if I'm being completely honest with you.
Irons.
Not with that stadium.
50,000 every single week.
It's not a footy stadium, though. The West Ham fans hate it. If you speak to West Ham fans, they will tell you they do not like their ground.
Now they can move, but what I'm saying is they still need to stay in the league, otherwise they finish. But Tottenham, let's talk about how big that's big for Nuno, big for Callum Wilson, big for West Ham, and their fans are like so toxic, West Ham fans. So it's great for Nuno to have that bit of respite and get that win. However, let's pivot to Tottenham from East London to North London. Thomas Frank's going through it, man. Yeah. The guy you tipped and I tipped is going to be the guy that's going to surprise us.
I said tough.
He's Frankenstein, bro. He's literally Frankenstein.
They
want him
gone. Let me ask you a question.
And I don't think he should go, because that Ange...
That's the 14th in the league.
But Ange finished 17th or 16th. This is where this team's at. Know what I mean? He needs time to get whatever he needs to get over the line. They've signed a couple of players now. He was in the recruitment process. It doesn't make sense to give him the reins to sign players and then sack him. Give him to the end of the season. Let him see what he needs to do in the Champions League. That's the least he can give him.
But we've seen the same script before. These small managers, well, not say small managers, but when they come up from small clubs and they get promoted to a big club, aka Graham Potter, for example, David Moyes from Everton United, they don't do well in these big clubs. Why? Because the limelight is bigger. Thomas Frank is not made for the Tottenham. Tottenham need a big boy manager. Do you know what I mean?
They've had big boy. Tottenham are a finished institution. Tottenham are a finished institution, bro. They are. They're not serious. They're there to make up numbers. It was always fraudulent to say that there was a big six and have them in it, because they are not about that life. And the truth of the matter is, it doesn't matter who's going to be the next manager of Tottenham, because they will always do the same thing and it'll be a rinse and repeat process for them. They cannot build a team that is capable of challenging for major honours. And I know they won the Europa League last season, and I get that, and fair play to Ange. He said it, second season he always wins. Big up man like Ange.
That's who we are, mate.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? That's who he is. But the reality is that they will have those moments, but they're never going to have the sustained period where they're going to be finishing top 3, top 4, top 5, like 4 or 5 years on the spin, and they're pushing on the likes of Arsenal or a City.
They did have that though with Poch.
But again, even with Poch and doing that and getting to a Champions League final, they still had players that weren't capable of getting them over the line. They still had.
That's unfair.
No, but bro.
Toby Alderweireld, Jan Vertonghen,
But he didn't get them over the line.
Kane,
But he didn't get them. And I thought they had a brilliant team.
Eriksen.
I enjoyed that team, but he didn't get them over the line. And if you think of the talent that was in that side, how much better, you were talking about the levels before of 18, 19, how much better is a team going to have to get before they can even look to be serious? Because they had it all. In that sense, they had the striker, they had 2 good defenders, they had a really good goalkeeper, they had the foundation of a team and still couldn't do it. So it doesn't matter what they're not going to be able to do it with individuals. They can't do it as a team. They're not going to be able to do it with a clutch manager. They're not going to do it with the OG manager. They're not going to do it with the manager that needs to do it as a bit of training wheels in Thomas Frank. They're not going to be a serious side. They're here to make up the numbers. The sooner Tottenham fans get on board with that and can just enjoy footy, the better, because they're not serious.
So is there no Big Six?
There's no Big Six. It's fraudulent. It's just
really
propaganda.
big-
It's propaganda.
What is then the big what?
It was just the top 4, bro. It was the top 4.
So who's the top 4 team?
It used to be United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. That was the top 4.
Who's the top 4 now? What's the big 4?
City are in there now.
What's the big
City.
three? Big 3, Liverpool, Arsenal, City.
Yeah. That's it. Big 3. If you want to call it a big 3.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, go on.
I think it's unfair. I think it was when we were growing up. That was football, that top 4. But then Man City came and changed the whole.
Yeah.
They
ripped up the script.
League. You get me?
No fairs. We'll move on to a club who I think is a big club, a massive club, Chelsea.
I don't know.
Yeah, as a United fan, I want to ask you about Chelsea and Cole Palmer. Is he one of the best players in the Premier League? Yes or no?
One of the best players in the Premier League, yeah.
Okay, well, talk to me about Chelsea. Are they? Why do they have this inconsistency about them? They won 2-0. They lost to Arsenal last week. What is it about Chelsea? They remind me a bit of United. The inconsistency.
I just think they made a mistake with the Maresca thing and that Igbali made the wrong choice and stuff like that. It was just like ego, and got rid of him when they were doing well and stuff like that. They were winning trophies. They looked a bit more like even like against the top sides. You seen how they played. They always play well. And they just wanted the yes man at the wheel and like stuff like that with Liam.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you mean. But it's a similar situation with United, isn't it? Like, you go for the top dogs. Yeah, you're gone. Amaron called out your owners.
Yeah.
Maresca's done the same.
He didn't call out the owners. He just called out Jason Wilcox. The sporting director needs to do his job, and the recruitment department. And then straight away got sacked and stuff like that. But Chelsea's not the same, innit, without Abramovich, because they had like a winner there that always wanted to win it. And they didn't even care about the style of play. Yeah. They just wanted to win. And if you don't win, they remove you. It was just like Real Madrid, basically.
But you know
Chelsea used to remove managers to be winners. Now they're just removing managers to just be dross.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, they're just getting rid of managers and they're still not.
They want to make profit. Which is why it aligns with Man United and Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who loves Chelsea and wants that Chelsea model where you just make them profit. Yeah.
They want to build a village. They want to build hotels. They want to build restaurants.
Hey, City did that, to be fair. They've revamped.
Yeah, but City again. City's model is just it's a completely different.
They got Arab money.
Yeah, that's it, bro. They got a lot of money in it. You can't, bro.
British billionaires are broke, bro.
British billionaires are broke.
The same as Khalid. These men are worth 250 million. Newcastle, bro. They're going to buy the
Sir Jim's still signing on, bro. Do you know what I mean? He's still signing on week to week.
So no, Chelsea has good players. They just needed to stay with Maresca. I know he's had his frustrations. He needed a centre-back and now they're buying a centre-back for Liam. It doesn't make sense.
You've got to also have experience. Like a lot of these players at Chelsea have got young players and they need leaders and experienced
like
players.
Thiago Silva and stuff like that.
You know, that they can learn off and understand. Like, hoping and expecting that this crop of players will all turn into world-class prospects at 26, 27, 28. They're on death row contracts, by the way, like hoping that happens.
They signed with blood as well.
It's a big stretch, do you know what I mean? You need to be able to have them in with.
I reckon they'll just sell them, mate. As soon as they start doing well, they just start selling them.
What was it? On a 6-year
Yeah, I
contract.
said that, yeah. 6-year contract.
6-year contract.
Why?
Isn't there a notice period though? With him?
12 months.
12 months.
12-month notice period. Is that what?
Probation.
You've
Isn't it?
got to
Like,
leave.
If he wants to leave.
Yeah,
no,
has to leave.
in 12 months, if they don't think he's good enough, like basically in work, 6 months, they'll just remove him.
Also, they're giving this guy like
Yeah. 6-year deal,
contract,
but yeah.
360 Diddy deal.
Yeah.
Bad boy record deal. That is crazy.
You go on about Arteta and like all the cringy antics.
Win the dog.
Yeah,
Well, you man. You told me win the dog. When I heard win the dog, yeah.
Do you know the story behind it?
I know you told me.
Yeah, I told you about
it
it.
again.
Maresca, for example,
He's a better manager than
he
Arteta.
takes his gloves off. Yeah, he takes his gloves off.
Not Maresca, Liam Rosenior.
Liam Rosenior takes
You have to
his-
say his name properly. It's not Rosenior, it's Rosenior.
Rosenior, yeah, he takes his gloves off. So his team can hear him when he's clapping like this. You know what I mean? Is that good manager tactics? Is it like mentality psychologically?
It's the school of
Was it-
Mikel Arteta.
Why is the school of Arteta?
When Mikel Arteta starts going all or nothing.
Where's the thieves
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the pockets?
But the one better than
That's
thieves.
unbelievable, you know. That's unbelievable.
What do you mean that's unbelievable?
No,
No,
that
the one
is
better than the
unbelievable.
thieves. You know what's better than the thieves?
Shocking.
The light bulb. Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison made this light bulb 100 years ago. I'm like, bro, this is. I get it, like the 1% and the fine margins and that. Or when he brought the speakers out and goes, "This is Anfield," but they didn't.
And they lost.
They didn't. What's the training ground called? London Colney.
Yeah.
Is that you, man? So you don't even know where your training ground is.
Yeah.
Oh, they're finished.
London Colney, yeah, it is.
Oh my days. Anyway, the training ground comes out there. This is Anfield, boys. Train like it's Anfield. Oh my God. I get it though. I understand it's funny. But do you know what's not funny? If he wins, if he goes on Rosenior goes on a 10-match winning streak, they'll call him a genius. If he loses 10 matches in a row, they'll call him, oh, what a flop. It's just all about results.
Yeah.
If you get the results, you're a genius. If you don't, then you don't have a clue. But I don't like really particularly like Chelsea. You get me?
I want to see a black manager
yeah,
do well
I
in the
just want
Premier
to
League.
do well, you
Like,
get me?
yeah.
I think he's gone me soon. I think they'll sack him.
He's only just took his coat off.
Yeah, I know.
He only took his gloves off.
Give him next season, he's gone.
I don't, you know, obviously, I don't want to like bring up like a serious topic, but Chelsea have been in the past been known for some racial, you know what I mean, like some racial abuse toward
The train thing?
or fans.
Nah, Rob's is bringing that.
Do you know what I mean?
We going there?
Do you know what I mean? Like Rosenior's, he's in dark waters. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's got to
He's running up. He's running uphill, bro.
You know what I mean? So
Nah, that's funny though. But I think Chelsea finish 5th or 6th, and I think they're happy with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think. Jalal, quickly. Would Chelsea be happy with the 5th place finish?
Yeah. 100%.
That's what I'm saying. So the bar's not really that high,
yeah,
is it?
fair enough. Well, I wanted to finish off on this question. It's a bit of an open question for you to discuss, and we've touched on it a few times. The Premier League, okay. We talk how it's been crap apparently this season. Yeah,
What's been crap? Sorry.
the Premier League, the quality of the teams, like
That's what you
City,
said, yeah.
United, City, Arsenal, whatever. Yeah, Liverpool, but aren't the lower teams just getting better? Like, haven't they just got better players? I touched on it before, but like Semenyo, for example, at Bournemouth. Do you know what I mean? They're saying he's the best wing in the league. Elliot Anderson at Nottingham Forest, and even Morgan Gibbs-White.
Do you know-
Bowen at West Ham.
Do you know back in the day though, every player had when we were growing up, every team had a sick player. West Ham had Di Canio, bro. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, fair.
Chelsea wasn't like winning titles, but they had Zola. Like, we wasn't winning titles, but we had Michael Owen, Emil Heskey, like Dion Dublin at Aston Villa, Kevin Davies at Bolton, Nolan. Every team had Bagsman, Phillips, Sunderland,
Kevin Phillips, yeah.
Jermaine Defoe, wherever he's gone, Portsmouth.
Yakubu.
Yakubu, Benjani. So we could
What a seller.
Well, I'm saying back in the day, like you could say the same thing back then, like, but I don't know. I
think there's an element of too much football, and I think the teams that have like pushed towards the top end. So you look at your Villas, obviously Tottenham qualifying for the Champions League by default. All of those teams that have pushed up, they're in 3-4 competitions and they're getting run ragged week in, week out. Like the fact that to me, that shows like how bad the league is the fact that, again, a team like Manchester United, even only having to deal with that one game a week, still can't just leapfrog all of those other teams and are just stuck in that rut. It just goes to show for me that the quality of the league at the minute is poor. I think the players are being overtrained, they're being overplayed, they're being over-instructed. It's so systematic. I think most teams play boring as well. You'd be hard pushed. Like Brighton used to be a team you'd look at and think, oh, they play some good footy then. You know what I mean? There's a very few teams this season where you look at and think, wow, they play some brilliant football. Even if they are open a little bit and leave a little bit open in the back, most of the teams look boring. City have been a boring team to watch for ages. Whether you're happy or not, bro, at the top of the league, can you say Arsenal have played exciting football this season?
No.
Liverpool are boring as well.
We're boring to watch. Again,
United.
Like, Chelsea fan over there, you can't say you watched them. Like, enough man can't really sit there and think, even just for entertainment value, there's not really been that much to shout about.
What's happening with the squads as well? As the squads are getting bigger, matchday squads are getting bigger, there's more substitutes. So there's this idea of you don't really have to be a starting 11 player anymore. You could be in the 14, 15 man and get you 20, 30 minutes, which means that a lot of the quality in the lower end of the league is getting taken up by the top teams. So like a Noni Madueke, whatever you think about him, he's not as good as Saka, but he'd be at like a team that's mid-table, and he'd be their guy. But now he's, the same way that we bought, like we had six attackers last season. Not each one of them were just getting rotated.
And on paper, most Malatay Chiesa was somebody to bring off the bench. But
so I think these teams are just stockpiling, which then creates this kind of stalemate in the league, which is not great. But also you could counteract that. You could say the lower teams have got more money to spend on wages. I just don't know what the answer is.
I just think because the teams that are playing out from the back and stuff like that, too many errors. You know what I mean? Like, whereas back then, like you use now, the Stoke of the league at top of the table. So if Stoke was in this table, they'd be there.
You think if Stoke was in the Premier League?
Yeah, bro, look at
long throws and stuff.
Yeah, back in the day.
Who's that Sunderland player that does them big long throws for his name? Mukiele.
Oh, Mukiele. Yeah.
So
Liam Delap in the sky.
You can see like the issue is that all these teams that are getting promoted, they're trying to play out from the back and stuff like that.
I think it's changed this year a little bit, don't you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're trying to do that now. Where it's going back to how it was. Whereas like you still see errors where like, was it Villa against Hughes where they tried to play out from the back and then big mistake and then they've lost the game because of it. You know what I mean? Whereas they can just hit it long and go from there. That's why the quality is going back to how it was.
Oh, I think it's up for debate, but anyway, I know my team's top of the league and that's all that matters. But boys, thank you as always. It's been another brilliant episode. Cutz Inside, episode 19. Catch us on YouTube, Spotify.
Not Apple Music.
Not Apple Music, okay? Not Apple Music. And as always, it's been a pleasure boys. Well done.